Hello everyone, and welcome to a new series on the channel called Above the Water Travel. This series is all about cruises. We're going to start off with a series of cruise ship reviews, and we have quite a few in the works. If you're here for the event coverage videos, stick around. They're not going anywhere, and more will be uploaded as I attend the events. In today's episode, we will be talking about and reviewing Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Seas. We boarded the Odyssey of the Seas for a 5-night trip out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida on November 15th, 2021. At the time of cruising, it was Royal's newest ship, and we boarded just 2 days after it was christened. The Odyssey of the Seas is a unique ship, so let's begin our review. Each review will consist of giving each ship a rating score based on points. The maximum points a ship can get is 500. The ship review will consist of 5 categories with a maximum 100 points total per category. Each category is split up into 5 subtopics with a maximum 20 points total each. Each category will get its total points by totaling the points from the 5 subtopics. At the end of the review, the totals from the 5 categories will be added together, giving the total review points. On the left side of the screen, you will see the ship's details. On the right side of the screen, you will see the categories and subtopics. The points will be added as we move along with the review. We will begin the review with some basic ship statistics. The construction of the ship began on February of 2019. It was later launched in 2021. Since it was just built, it hasn't gone through a refit yet. The ship has 2,105 guest cabins. The Odyssey of the Seas is 1,141 feet long and 137 feet wide. It has 16 decks, 14 of which are passenger decks. It can hold 1,663 crew members that can house 4,198 guest passengers at double occupancy. The maximum guest capacity is 5,510. We will begin the rating portion of the review by rating the ship itself and starting with the public areas. The public areas are nicely decorated in a modern, elegant look, but not over the top. The promenade can get a bit crowded after the show, and so we give the public area a 17 out of 20. The Lido deck, next. The Lido deck. The Lido deck can get a little hectic when it's crowded, which is typical for most cruise ships. The biggest flaw with the Lido deck is the amount of seating around the big movie screen. Seating in general is very limited on the Lido, so the Lido scores a 14 out of 20. Next up is the theater. The theater is nice and seats a lot of people, so it gets a score of 20 out of 20. The elevators were good size, so they get an 18 out of 20. The restaurants and bars. Some seem too small for what they scheduled in them, so we're going to give them a 17 out of 20. Alright, so the total ship points come to a total of 86 of 100. Now moving on to food quality, starting with the dining room. Now we didn't eat any in the dining room, so it doesn't really get a score. Specialty dining. We only tried one of the specialty dining options, and that was the Playmakers Bar and Arcade. We tried the jerk wings and fries. They were both good, but not the best we've had. So the specialty dining gets 17 out of 20. The Lido deck food. The Windjammer, also known as the buffet, is where we ate the majority of the meals. The food selection was decent, but not as good as other Royal Caribbean ships. I think this was due to the cruise line recently starting back. The food we tried was all pretty good, so it gets a 16 out of 20. Other complimentary food options. We tried Sorrento's pizza, and the pizza was excellent. The pepperoni pizza I had was one of the best pizzas I've ever had. We also tried the Cafe Promenade, and they had really good cookies as well. The chips and salsa at El Loco Fresh made for a great snack. So Specialty Foods gets a score of 20 out of 20. Ice cream. We forgot to try some of the ice cream, so we can't really give it a score. So the overall food score quality is a 53 out of 100. Moving on to the entertainment section. The main theater and the 270 theater, which is in the back of the ship, had some of the best shows, sets, and talents I've seen on any ship. So it gets a 20 out of 20. The bars had great singers, but it was hard to get into because it was so busy. So it scores a 17 out of 20. The comedy clubs. The ship didn't really have its own comedy club. It did, however, have a music hall that was used for several things, so we will rate it. The entertainment was great, but due to its size, it was a little difficult getting a seat. I would give it a 14 out of 20. The Lido deck. If you're familiar with cruising, the entertainment was about the same. It was very enjoyable and the performers were very talented. It gets a 17 out of 20. Things to do. There are plenty of options of things to do on the Odyssey. You have bumper cars and various activities in the Seaplex. You also have the Sky Pad, the Flow Rider, the Ripcord, which is a skydiving experience, the North Star, Splashaway Bay, and much more. Things to do gets a 20 out of 20. Entertainment overall gets an 88 out of 100. Next up is the cabin, starting with the bed and bath comfort. The bed was very comfortable, but a little on the firmer side. The bathroom, however, was good size for a ship. I really like that the shower has a glass door instead of the normal cloth curtain. The curtains always seem to stick to you when showering. The glass door also made for a little extra room in the shower. So the bed and bath comfort gets a 17 out of 20. Size of the room. We had an extended balcony room and it was really good size. We had the bed set up as 2 twin beds, and the only part that got a little tight was getting around the bed to get to the balcony. This may not be an issue when the beds are together. The balcony, however, was very large and had plenty of room. So the size gets a 19 out of 20. Storage. This was the most storage I've seen on any cruise ship. It had storage closets on both ends of the couch, a dresser, and even storage above the bed. So storage gets a 20 out of 20. Next up, temperature. The temperature stayed consistent throughout the cruise. And if you've been on multiple cruises, you probably know what I'm talking about. So, temperature gets a 20 out of 20. Outlets. There were plenty of outlets and charge ports, even by the bed. So outlets gets a 20 out of 20. So the cabin total is a 96 out of 100. Moving along now to the miscellaneous. And first up, the embarkation. The embarkation process was super easy and fast. It only took about 15 to 20 minutes from the time we stepped off the shuttle bus till we were on the ship. The embarkation gets a 20 out of 20. The same goes for the debarkation. We carried our luggage off and it still only took about 15 minutes for the whole process. So the debarkation process gets a 20 out of 20 as well. Crowd control. There was a few areas that got pretty congested pretty easily throughout the day. So it receives a score of 15 out of 20. Ease of finding food at odd times. It was pretty difficult finding food once you got back on board from going ashore. So it gets a 10 out of 20. Next up, wait times. Wait times were pretty low across the board. So wait times gets a score of 15 out of 20. The miscellaneous total comes to 80 out of 100. That is all we have on this review. So now it's time to add up each category to get the total ship score of the Odyssey of the Seas. We have given the Odyssey of the Seas a grand total of 403 out of 500. In percentage terms, it equals out to be 80.6%. We hope you have enjoyed and found this ship review of the Odyssey of the Seas to be helpful in your search for your next cruise. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button and like button. We will have more ship review videos coming up soon. If you've been on the Odyssey of the Seas, let us know how you like the ship in the comments below. You can also find us on Facebook at Above the Water Travel, where we will post more pictures of the ship. Stick around. The next ship we will be reviewing is the MSC Meraviglia. Thanks for watching.